Yo, got another video. Sorry for the lack of videos. I'm gonna start uploading more. Anyway, just to get straight into it, I'm gonna just react to like 10 minutes or so of the JJ Redick press conference. I don't know if you already seen this, been kind of like, I guess, a meme or just a clip from this interview going viral where he's like, I don't really know how to answer that question because I really don't give a fuck. Bruh. But we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm already like 3 minutes 30 seconds in the video, but he didn't really say anything too important. Bro, what? Sometimes when I click space, it doesn't unpause. My bad.
They will all be important as I build out my staff, as we think about the people we want to draft and get in free agency, and as we think about player development. It's all about those things. When I think about the NBA today, you know, the game is evolving, and it's evolving fast. And one of the things in coaching that I think you have to be is adaptable. You have to be adaptable to your roster. You have to be adaptable in game planning against your opponent. And that's one of the things I really will strive to be. Lastly, I just want to say, like, sitting in this seat.
That's a good remark. This is crazy pause, huh? Nah. Alright, that was a crazy pause. What was I about to say? Oh yeah, adaptable. Great word, cause some coaches stick to their game plan no matter if they're playing a team that abuses their game plan. Cause like, let's say you're playing the Bucks, Brook Lopez drops on every screen. They're not gonna change that, no matter if they're playing the Warriors or they're playing the Pistons. Basically, he's saying that even though the Lakers could have like a set game plan that, oh yeah, when we play the Lakers, they're gonna do this, they could easily change it up, and I actually like that.
Know what the expectations are. Lakers fans have some of the most passionate fans around the world, and the expectation is a championship. And so it's my job, it's our staff's job, it's Rob's job, it's all of us to deliver a championship caliber team. That's what I signed up for.
All right.
Hey, JJ, Mike Trudell with the Lakers and Spectrum Sportsnet. Amongst the things you were alluding to, just your personality, competitiveness. Rob spoke about this, that drive. As a player, did you start to think about head coaching in that context, like the closest that you can get to fueling that, finding that competitive fire, and did that drive you at all towards this Lakers position?
There were certainly coaches that I had throughout my career that would say, you're going to coach someday. Doc was probably the first one that did that. But it was really when I was in Dallas at the end of my career, and I was hurt for most of those 2.5 months. I didn't play a lot. Rick Carlisle and I spent a lot of time together, and he really planted the seed about coaching. Now, at the time, I knew I was going to retire. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I wanted to be able to be home for a little bit. I didn't think it was the right time. You know, when I retired, literally, when I retired, my performance coach and I, we talked about all the things that I loved about being a player. And it was a lot of those qualities that I just listed. And it's all part of coaching. And
real quick, I do want to say I kind of forgot he played for Dallas. Like if I was thinking about what team JJ Redick played for, I would eventually have got there. But that's not. But yeah, he was injured the last couple months. I think that year was 2021. I'm pretty sure it's 2021. I'm pretty sure he got traded from the Pelicans to the Mavs. I could be wrong though. Anyway, I believe everything he's saying. I thought he was gonna go somewhere else when he first mentioned Doc Rivers for different reasons, but still.
You know, as I think about the culture we want to create here, part of that is just a competitive culture. Like, we want to come in every day thinking about competition.
JJ, Jim Hill, KKL9 News, congratulations. You mentioned what you learned from Doc Rivers. What's the most important thing you learned from Doc that's going to help you to make an adjustment into the NBA with no previous head coaching experience?
The most important thing I learned from Doc, you know, it's interesting because I probably took something from every coach that I ever played for. You know, Doc was such a good motivator. And one of the things that I think he is particularly good at is creating a vision, communicating a vision, and then getting you to buy into that vision day after day. Now, those Clippers teams, we didn't reach our ultimate vision, unfortunately, but that's something that he was always so great at. He's an incredible communicator.
Welcome, JJ and Rob. Good to see you. If I could ask one of you both.
Bro, Robert Lincoln honestly, man, started smiling once he said the Clippers didn't reach the goal or reach your vision. But still,
Rob, obviously in today's media landscape, the twists and turns of a coaching search kind of become public fodder. Can you speak on, you guys are obviously very ecstatic to have JJ in this role, but there was a pursuit of Dan Hurley before, and just where did things stand? Did you put the JJ process on hold in that moment, and just how did that play out?
Yeah, happy to talk more about the entire process at another time. Today's sort of JJ's day, and I will say this. From the start, he was in our plan A pool of coaches that we were really interested in exploring. And I think the most important thing is throughout the process, JJ and I had direct and sort of constant communication to keep each other in the loop with what he was going through with his previous job with the NBA Finals. And I was keeping him abreast of the search. And I think sometimes before a partnership is forged, when you can have real, honest conversations before you actually...
hey, Rob said himself, this interview's about JJ, man.
A lot of athletes, it's a tough transition. You were able to quickly parlay that into a successful podcast venture, obviously broadcasting the NBA Finals. With that going in your direction, like that could have been what you did the next 20 years. Why did you decide that coaching was what you wanted to do in your basketball life?
That's a good question.
I'll answer the question in a second. I want to follow up on something Rob just was talking about, and that's, when the process was going on and we first met in Chicago, I was getting ready to call game one of the NBA Finals when the Dan Hurley news broke, and Rob was quick to call me. We had a great conversation during that whole 4-day period. Like, at no point was my ego or feelings hurt or bruised in any way. Dan Hurley is a 2-time national champion at UConn. I am a 2-time 55 Swiss League champion in the 3rd and 4th grade division. Like, I understood, I understood. It's funny because, Dave, I get that question all the time, and I've certainly gotten that question a lot from people that I trust and confide in over the last year. It was really after I interviewed for the Toronto job last year that I knew that I wanted to be a head coach in the NBA. And so the last year I spent...
Ooh, hold on. Is that new information? Yeah, interviewed by Toronto last year? Yeah, okay, they did fire Nick Nurse, or not fire, let go of Nick Nurse. And then they hired that one dude. Okay, yeah.
A lot of time talking to coaches, talking with GMs, picking their brains. I am very fortunate that I have a small circle of people that are currently working in the NBA that I am friends with, that I can confide in, that can help me. And the further I got into those conversations, the further I got into my own sort of journaling about coaching, thinking about it, envisioning it. Rob and I talked about this a ton. I just felt like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I mean, I brought it up, like I had zero coaching experience in the NBA, but I would argue that I'm very experienced. And it started 22 years ago when I went to Duke, and I got to play for Coach K for 4 years, spent 15 years as a player. Honestly, the last 3 years have been invaluable in preparing me for this moment. Being able to connect to players, talking to them on the podcast, being in coaching interviews with ESPN.
I know JJ Redick and, just the rumors in general love to say that LeBron JJ Redick having a podcast had nothing to do with my bad, with JJ Redick getting the Lakers head coach job. And that's just cap. I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like, I'm not saying that we I feel like they would have hired one of the other coaches that we were looking at if it wasn't for the JJ Redick LeBron podcast. Like, because obviously there was rumors that Anthony Davis wanted Charlotte's former coach. I forgot his name. But yeah, I really do feel like we would hire one of those trash other coaches. By the way, I did not like the other people that you know were listed on the list of potential people we could get. My bad.
And calling games, analyzing the game in 3 different formats. All of that has helped prepare me to be an NBA head coach.
Rob, JJ, over here, Dan Wakey with the LA Times. Yes. Questions for both of you guys. JJ first. How do you kind of envision there? I think Jovan wrote something about Anthony Davis and kind of using him. How do you envision kind of Anthony Davis and LeBron James here as part of this team, provided LeBron resigns? And then Rob, for you, how are you going to sort of thread the needle of the late stage of potentially LeBron's career with the transition into whatever's next?
I think the first thing is with any player, Anthony Davis, LeBron James.
Fun fact.
Bro.
The person with McDonald's is always the most popular kid in school. And if they save money with the app, they're also the smartest. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Austin Reeves, any player on the roster. I can have a vision for how I want to use them, but there has to be buy-in and collaboration, right? So I can sit up here and tell you how I would like for them to play, but if there's no buy-in, then it doesn't really matter. So I think part of the next 2 months, I know those guys are going to be busy with Team USA. Part of the next 2 months is just having conversations, and Anthony and I already had a conversation a week ago about some ideas, both offensively and defensively, and I think both of us felt really comfortable going forward with that sort of.
Yes, LeBron JJ Red podcast. LeBron mentioned something about. Wait, was it LeBron? Yeah, I think LeBron mentioned something about Anthony Davis playing drop or whatever. Or maybe Anthony Davis mentioned that on the other podcast I was watching with Face Swag. But anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure they probably talked about that because for some reason Darvin Ham wanted Anthony Davis playing drop, and Anthony Davis is a pretty good perimeter defender, so I don't know why.
Sort of as the base starting point of how he's going to play on this team, and one of the things I brought up with him is just the idea of him as a hub. There's a bunch of guys at the 5 position in the NBA that sort of operate in that way, and I don't know that he's been used in that way and sort of maximize all of his abilities. So that's a simple thing with him. With LeBron, look, you have to certainly get buy-in and talk to him about how he wants to play. Him and I have joked about this, but like he shot over 40% from 3 this year. Like I want him shooting threes. He's going to have his 3 or 4 bursts every game where he gets out in transition and does things that no one at his age should ever be able to do, but he does it. It's really just figuring out in the half court, putting him in different spots, both as a scorer and a facilitator.
Don't make LeBron shoot too many threes. No, I want to call LeBron a shooter. I don't care what his 3-point percentage said.
That'll be part of the conversation over the next couple months.
Yeah, I think first.
We don't care about what Robert Lincoln got to say. Again, this JJ Redick thing. I'm gonna go ahead and end it right there. Like and subscribe if you enjoy.